Hi everyone, this is Chris from A Bar Above, and today we're going to take a little bit of a break from what we're used to doing, concentrating on cocktail design and all things cocktail related. And we're going to talk about some pointers on how to develop regulars at your bar, so stay tuned. So there are so many different techniques for building regulars that if we just started listing them off, first of all, it'd be a really boring video, and second of all, we'd be here forever. So what I'm going to do is provide you with some of the most common techniques that for building regulars, and also share with you some of the ones that I've been using that's really helped me out over the last couple of years. And also, I'd love it if you'd provide some of your suggestions on how you develop regulars, and leave those comments at abarabove.com. So now let's go ahead and start with the most common ways to develop regulars. So first of all, provide really good customer service. This should be like automatic for us. So, when somebody walks up to your bar, immediately greet them, get a drink order from them, get them a cocktail menu, provide them with a clean surface to enjoy their time there. The basic stuff that we should be doing on a daily basis. The other thing is, make sure you have a good attitude. Have a smile on your face, be outgoing, create an energy about you, and make people comfortable. Because if you're kind of nasty and you're kind of off-putting and you start barking at people, most likely they're going to pay their tab and you're never going to see these regulars again. It's kind of a missed opportunity. So be really positive, be outgoing, and make people feel comfortable while they're there. So once you start to see these familiar faces, I don't know about you, but the first thing that happens to me is I associate that face with a cocktail. So I might not even know their name, but I know they always drink a vodka soda or a gin and tonic. And once this happens, it's a really important step because you already have that information in your head, it's stuck there, and now's the time that you start to build on that. So what I'll do is I will introduce myself, say, hey, I've seen you here a couple different times, my name's Chris, get their information or get their name from them, and the most important thing is remember their name. And the easiest way to do that is just by saying their name 3 different times. Not like Beetlejuice, 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 but in a very natural way. Say, hey Tom, it's really nice to meet you. What can I get for you? Even though you already know what he's drinking. Check back with him in a couple of minutes. Say, hey Tom, how's your vodka tonic? Easy stuff like that. And at the end of the night, say, Tom, it was really nice to meet you. We'll see you next time. And that's simple. And most likely, next time you see him, you're going to remember that. Or it'll be a lot easier to pull that information in when you need it. So once you start to compile this information, it's a lot easier to kind of build onto that. So getting the name with the drink is really, really important. So once you have that information, the next step is figuring out kind of why they're there. At this point, you probably already know, are they there for the drinks? Are they there because they know the owner? Are they there because they love your cocktails, your selection, the food? Whatever it is that they're there, provide that for them, within reason, obviously. But that's essentially the basics of developing regulars, is figure out why they're there, give that to them, and they'll keep coming back. The next thing to do is start to build information on this person. So does Tom come in and have 3 vodka tonics every single time he comes in, without fail, very consistently? So at this point, one of the easiest techniques, or one of the techniques that I've been using over the last couple of years, is I don't ask him anymore. I just bring it. I already know he's going to drink 3, so why even bother asking? And it shows that you're paying attention, it shows that you're taking care of them, and it makes them really comfortable to be at your bar. So that's one of my techniques for building regulars, and all of a sudden you're probably going to start to see this person a lot more, and they will be a regular. And now is the time to really step it up and start to collect more information from this person. Like, for example, did they grow up around the neighborhood? Did they grow up in New York? Did they like to vacation to Hawaii? Married, kids, whatever information that you can get from them, kind of build off that one initial thing of what do they like to drink. And it's a lot easier to remember once you have that kind of cornerstone down. So this information is going to come in very, very handy regarding my favorite technique that I'll share with you a little bit later. But now that we have this information, let's make sure that we use it. So, for example, start to ask really specific questions like, hey Tom, how's your son doing? Is he enjoying baseball camp? Or how's Hawaii? Or whatever, asking really specific questions like that shows that you're paying attention and you actually care about this person and kind of their well-being. And I don't know about you, but I really like my regulars. I think they're really cool people. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind just going out and hanging out at the bar with them because I like them. So, you know, ask those specific questions. Now for my favorite technique and my favorite tip. Once you have all this information based off this one regular, and probably more than one regular, if this is just kind of how you cultivate regulars, all of a sudden you have all this information on all these different people. Now is the time I like to start to introduce people. And I try to find something in common between these people and introduce them in that manner. So it literally goes like this, and I do it all the time, and it works like a charm. So let's say Stacy's sitting in seat 1, Tom's sitting in seat 4, and I know that Stacy's going to New York on business soon, and I know that Tom's from New York. So it's going to go like this. Stacy, this is Tom. Tom, this is Stacy. You're showing that you recognize both these people are, and it's kind of like your seal of approval, like this person is a nice person, you're going to get along. So Tom, Stacy, Stacy, Tom. Stacy's actually going to New York in a week for business, and Tom, I know that you've actually been to New York, or you grew up in New York, and I know you have some great suggestions on where to eat, where to stay, what to see while she's there. So you've done a lot of really cool things in a very short amount of time. First of all, you've given them a seal of approval, like, I like you, I like this person, you're going to get along. Second thing is, you've kind of done away with that weird awkwardness of meeting a stranger, because now they know each other's names, they didn't have to find it on their own, and you leave them with a topic to talk about. So instead of them kind of shooting aimlessly in the dark on something to talk about, all of a sudden they have something very common that they're both excited about talking about. And it creates this really cool environment where they feel like you're part of the conversation when all you had to do was introduce them. So at this point, you can turn your attention on building other regulars, you know, maybe making those 14 cocktails that are sitting in the window, who knows? But like I said, you've kind of created that environment for them. You no longer have to put a lot of energy into entertaining them because they're entertaining each other and they actually feel like you're part of that. So it's really, really powerful. And here's the best part about it. All of a sudden, you start to create this environment of conversation and introduction. And not only are they there to see their favorite bartender, which is you, they're there to see their new friends. And it creates this really cool energy at the bar that is absolutely infectious. And trust me, the people that are there that are not one of your regulars see this a couple different times, and all of a sudden, they're a lot more willing to give information, and they want to be one of those people. It's really, really powerful. I've been using this over the last 4 or 5 years now, and it has done wonders for me as a bartender and pulling in regulars, some really, really great regulars at my bar. So there's one other tip that I have for you, and that is everybody has a cell phone these days, and it is our lifeline to the world. And without it, we feel kind of exposed and a little bit vulnerable. So over the last couple of years, I actually have bought USB chargers that I have behind our bars, and I have all the major connections for all the major phones. So USB 4, iPhone 4, iPhone 5, micro USB, and even at one point I had a BlackBerry. I know. Who has a BlackBerry these days? So anyways, so make sure you have all those major connectors. And also let people know that you have them. So if you see somebody has their phone right on your bar, say, hey, by the way, if you'd like, I can charge it for you right now. And they're going to realize that they can come in, have a drink, and let their phone charge, and then kind of go about their evening if they're around the neighborhood. And it really does help to pull in regulars. And it's something that we can all do for very, very little cost, essentially today. So that's pretty much it. Now, I know that many of you have a lot of other techniques that you like to use to develop regulars, and I'd love to hear more about it and on our website at barabub.com, so please feel free to leave some feedback and your suggestions there. So we'll have some more videos in the future, but until then, I hope you guys have a great shift, and cheers. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Google+, or visit us at abarabub.com.